Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Today is Wednesday, and usually I stream on Tuesday, but I always do things for a special occasion. And tonight is a special occasion. Make sure you follow To a Woman's Heart on all of our social media outlets. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, TikTok. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out the social media outlet, toawomansheart.org, and then check out the website, toawomansheart.com, and the store with t-shirts that speaks to the heart of a woman, toawomansheart.store. All right. So I am a person who loves to empower and push women forward. And I want us to know what's going on in our surroundings. You may have relatives that live in the city of Chicago, regardless of what city and state you live in, and we want to inform you. So tonight I brought a special guest to come in who's running for Cook County Judge, Democrat for Cook County Judge, Meredith Hammer. And I want to give her a chance to introduce herself and talk about her platform and why she wanted to run for judge for Cook County. All right, Meredith.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you, bringing me on and allowing me an opportunity to present myself and my background. And as you said, the reason why I'm running for judge. So I am Meredith Hammer, right? I'm an attorney, I'm an educator, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm a candidate for judge for the Circuit Court of Cook County. I am running countywide. So anyone who lives and is a registered voter in Cook County, anywhere in Cook County, not just the city of Chicago, but anywhere in Cook County, South Holland, Calumet City, Burnham, Lansing, anywhere in Cook County, you can vote for Meredith Hammer. As I said, I've been an attorney for over 20 years. And I practice in an area of a law that's a road that's a little less traveled. I practice on the civil side. I do probate work, trust and estates planning, real estate, which includes mortgage foreclosure defense, contract disputes, business, disputes, even employer and workplace, and employer contract disputes, employment contract disputes. So why I want to run for judge? I've been a public servant all my life, right? I started a project about 4 years ago called Project 5000. I co-founded with a friend of mine where we built reasonable and affordable homes,
Okay.
which also created jobs.
Mhm.
And so I'm, really about the community. I'm about helping people in the community. And as you stated earlier, I'm also about empowering women, right? Empower women. So I really appreciate you, and I appreciate your mission, your ministry, really in that way. And So I've been a public servant, and I believe that the judiciary is the highest form of public service in our court system. I help about in my practice, in my area of practice, I help about 10 people, a dozen or so people a month. But as a judge, I believe I can help hundreds of people a day, right?
Mhm.
I Particularly those people who are traditionally underserved and underrepresented, brown and black communities. That's the primary reason I wanted to run, was just to continue to go another level of serving people. Second reason I want to inspire little black girls to follow their dreams.
Mhm.
That's my second primary reason. So I have been on this journey, campaigning for judge for about a year.
Mhm.
I said I was going to enjoy the journey. I have. It's been challenging, lots of
Mhm.
obstacles in the way, but I have enjoyed it. My mom gave me a gavel 20 years ago, which I still have. And so, we had a dream, all the hard work, I believe, is finally paying off.
Okay. With what we're sitting in right now, and I know because I just talked about this with somebody else, I know the Cook County court system, the percentage and the balance for diversity is way off.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, it's about 90%, and it's not a discrimination comment, it's not a racist comment, it is a fact. It
That's
is
right.
about 90% judges that are white. And my perspective in talking to a lot of individuals who have come out and talking to mothers who have children, women who have husbands or wives or sisters or aunt that went in the system, the stigma of going into a court before a judge who does not understand the culture,
That's
to
right.
be labeled as you walk in the door automatically as a menace or a threat to society.
Yes,
It's
and it even factors into like I was saying earlier, the when I do mortgage foreclosure work,
mm-hmm,
I'm handling a case now. It's implicit bias. My client, who happens to be a pastor and who happens to pay their bills on time every month because they're
mm-hmm,
automatically drawn, has had a foreclosure, right? And I'm telling the opposing counsel that he pays his bills. He is nope. He's been late. He's been late since the start of the loan, which was like 6 years ago. I mean, and it was just when it came down to it, when I was able to prove that he hasn't been late, I'm like, well, we're done, right? And
right.
so it was just implicit bias. So it happens, like you said, not only not understanding the culture, but just it's really just racism. It's really
Mm-hmm,
just really what it is.
it is.
And so, you people. The other thing I wanted to inform you about is, you were talking about the judiciary being 90%, non or not diverse, right? Half of the judiciary is not even elected. Half of the judiciary is what we call associate judges. As
Mm-hmm,
I'm running for the circuit court to be a full circuit court judge. So
mm-hmm,
the associate judges are not elected. They don't have to campaign and get elected. The full circuit court judges vote on those guys to be judges. They make about $6,000 less than a full circuit court judge,
mm-hmm,
and they can't go to the next level in their career, like going to the appellate court or even the Supreme Court. But they're
mm-hmm,
judges. They make decisions. I say judges make decisions that change people's lives every day. So
mm-hmm.
judges are probably one of the most important elected officials that we should be looking at their background. Another little known fact about judges, and judicial candidates, we really can't talk about the issues. We can't really talk about, how we're going to decide on any particular issues. We can
Right.
be sanctioned, we can be fined,
Mm-hmm,
by the Illinois Judicial Council. But so
mm-hmm,
it's extremely important that, we have platforms like this where we can engage,
mm-hmm.
with judicial candidates, kind of understand, feel their
Right.
vibe, you know what I mean? Understand their background, and understand where they're coming from so we can try to get to know who we're going to put on the bench. I think it's extremely important. The people tend to be qualified. We have years and years and years of experience as lawyers, but it's
Mm-hmm.
about what else did you do? Did you work in the community?
Right.
Did you do pro bono work? Or did you
Mm-hmm.
just work at big business, corporate America? It's also really about who's backing you. You can look at some of the donors, um,
Mm-hmm.
who are make, because another little known fact about judicial candidates, we cannot personally solicit funds. So it becomes extremely difficult to raise money for the campaigns. As you know, campaigns are expensive.
They
So
are.
a lot of the times, the judicial candidates have to self fund our campaigns. Like my campaign is self funded, and
Mm-hmm.
I kind of gave up on the idea of just raising the money because I can't personally solicit. So you
Right.
have to hire someone else who can do it. And
Right.
then the other thing it's important for me to note that when someone gives you money, especially if they
Mm-hmm.
give you large amount of money,
Mm-hmm.
what are you giving them back? You know what I mean? So
Right.
for me, it's important to look at donors, those type of people who are backing,
Mm-hmm.
particularly the judicial candidates. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there's this whole process. I've been in the mix, the belly of the beast this past year with the slating process
Mm-hmm.
and with the Democratic Party and the committeemen.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely call it Cook County politics for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do.
It's been an interesting you know, ride. It's been an
Mm-hmm.
interesting ride in just who is supporting you and, your
Mhm.
candidacy and who's not, and you're putting out signs and they're getting ripped up, and that still happens.
Right, right.
So my background happens to be in technology as well.
Mhm.
In addition to these other areas, it's a diverse background. But
Okay.
I also have a degree in computer science and software development from Purdue University.
Okay.
28 years ago, I said computers were the wave of the future, and they
Mhm.
are. They are. We are in the future. The future is
Yeah,
here and
we
now.
are.
So
We are.
I got so I helped to implement. I worked for the clerk's office. I was deputy general counsel for the clerk of the circuit court
Mhm.
under Clerk Dorothy Brown. And so I helped to implement the case management system there. That's why it's important for me to say, I have that background in technology, because I believe technology can help, or increase the use of technology can help reduce costs, case
Mhm.
management efficiency. And we've seen that with the pandemic. The pandemic forced the use of technology. And
Exactly.
traditionally, the legal field, the court system is sort of the last frontier to come into
Mhm.
play. I believe it can help to reduce costs. People can come into, I want to continue the use of technology for court hearings, for
Mhm.
even for minor hearings, certainly, criminal cases and guardianship cases, we would probably probably want to have people in front, physically in front of the judge. But why would someone who have to take off work just to go to a
Right.
15-minute hearing, or hire a
Right.
babysitter? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and then you have this conversation about the cash bail algorithms or risk assessment tools. So those tools only good as
Mhm.
the people who input
Exactly.
data. So you gotta have people who understand what they're doing, and you have to have people who have worked with communities, like you said, and understand the culture to know
Mhm.
what we're creating these software systems, because that's what they are, software
Right.
systems and risk assessment tools. So I know it's a little bit of it's not as my background isn't as drama field as like some of the criminal side of the law, but it's still extremely important. And we still have people who go to probate court,
Mhm.
mama dies,
Yeah.
or the family home. So I, have that background. The probate area practice, there are very few attorneys, and I don't even know any judges that are brown or black, who in that area of the law. So and it takes forever to get through probate. So, I have a unique perspective. I have a unique perspective. Look through I will look at cases with the different kind of lens.
Mhm.
I think it's important to have diversity on the bench, not only diversity of ethnicity, but of
Mhm.
gender, but also of background. So I'm probably one of
Mhm.
the only people running for office who has my background. I know nobody has technology
Right.
background.
Right.
Lawyers really, really touch it. So, but I have also campaigned with the use of technology. I went really all in with social media,
Mhm.
and the use of technology. For one, again, it reduces the cost.
It
You know,
does.
it's pennies. It costs pennies to advertise on YouTube. I have one YouTube video that we pushed for 9 months,
Mhm.
and it talked about $4,000, but
Mhm.
it has 165,000 views. Right,
Mhm.
means people have actually clicked on it and watched the 35-second video. So
Mhm.
$4,000, and that kind of return,
Mhm.
all I can say is if when it pays off for the win, we're gonna have more people using technology,
Exactly.
the use of technology.
Exactly. Exactly. You gave a little bit of information. I didn't know that associate judges was not elected.
Most people don't. Guess what? I didn't know it either until I started running.
Oh,
And so I
wow.
make it a point. I made it my business when I started running and going through this process to learn about everybody who was running, other candidates who was
Mhm.
running, not just the judges. And
Mhm.
then there are a couple of associate judges who have been associate judges for 20, 30 years. And then see, this is how it goes. they'll when someone retires, they'll appoint those guys to the next level. Then they have to run, but and so they run as incumbents. So it just furthers, the lack of diversity, in my opinion. And then when those guys get on the bench and become full circuit judges, well, then they vote right for the associate judges who look like them. So
Right.
you never really allow, brown and black women
Right.
with diverse backgrounds,
Exactly. Hmm.
especially to get to the bench. So we're fighting. They say that they created the sub circuits to get more black people on the bench, right? But you got the sub circuits. It becomes like just a dog and cat fight because you got black people just going at it, right, in the sub circuits,
Right.
and then the party will back, their favorites. I'm
Hmm.
not mad at them. I'm running countywide though because although I live in the first sub circuit, two good friends of mine are running against each other. And
Hmm.
I said, I'm going to let y'all have that. And I'm just going to run countywide. It's
Right.
much more larger area to cover. But again, another reason why to use technology, right?
Hmm.
You can use that social media platform to target different zip codes,
Hmm.
different demographics.
Hmm.
So, that was been part of my strategy. I'm releasing my strategy now.
Right.
I wasn't doing it in the beginning, and people have gotten mad at me.
Hmm.
But the associate judges, like I said, that is something that I learned. I tell people about that too
Hmm.
because people know. I also, like I said, I thought it was important to learn about the other candidates, like the first congressional race is a
Hmm.
big topic of discussion. I happen to live 6 blocks east of the first congressional race, so
Hmm.
I don't can't vote. But guess what? Getting on the bench, making decisions. Judges are obligated to uphold the law, but in some
Hmm.
cases we have some judicial discretion, and we
Right.
can, come up with alternative orders or solutions. Like instead of just locking someone up and throwing away the key, or just releasing them, and without any guidance, we
Hmm.
can say, okay, have been a victim
Hmm.
yourself, and you may
Hmm.
need some mental health rehabilitative services. You may need a job opportunity, right? So we need to understand the programs that are out there and be able to work, in my opinion, my humble opinion, work
Right.
with these other elected officials like the congressman in the first and the second congressional districts or the county board president, right? What jobs and programs are they creating? Where's the funding? They're going to get the funding. They're
Hmm.
going to get funding from the feds. They're going to get the funding to be able to extend these programs or to start for certain programs,
Hmm.
that we can. So we have to know, we have to be, in my opinion, the judicial candidates and the judges ultimately have to understand what is going on in our communities. We got to know. I was talking to a judge who will remain nameless, who is running for the appellate court or was running for the appellate court. He confessed to me that he didn't know the Southlands were called the Southlands. He's been living in Chicago his entire life.
Oh, wow.
Um, so that, and while he's a very nice person,
Hmm.
he is not a black person and hadn't really worked in the community. Nice
Hmm.
guy, but
Hmm.
just that surprised me. And so I just really think that it's important that we understand what is going on in our communities, what is needed, even
Hmm.
as judicial candidates, even though we're obligated to uphold the law. And so
Hmm.
if someone doesn't have a background or isn't telling you what work they've done in the community, I just don't think that they would make a good judge and address the needs, the interests of the community that they're serving. The brown and black communities, especially. So we've got to put more diverse, you know, judges on the bench, and not just diverse, but like I said, diversity in ethnicity and gender, but in background and in what they've done in the community and in their experiences. And if a judge has been on the bench as an associate judge for 30 years,
Yeah, that's
you
big
know,
problem.
that can be an issue. And
Yeah.
then you can still have to look at though what they've done, what kind of decisions they've held. Have they published those decisions?
Hmm.
There are people who will tell me we talk about retention. There's the retention of judges. We can't find out their decisions and what they because they haven't bothered to publish them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's something else we need to look at. We need to find out about the judges and not just, it is complicated because like I said, you've got your countywide judges and you've got your sub-circuit judges, but it ain't that complicated. We've got the internet. You can go online, and you can find out some things. You can do some
I,
research.
I just think that because of what we're sitting in right now, that a
Yeah.
lot of people have lost hope. They have lost
Mm,
belief. They have lost trust in a system that was supposed to be designed to be fair, right? It used to be a time where when you said somebody got locked up for something, you innocent until proven guilty. Now you're guilty and you have to fight for your innocence. And so, in speaking to people and being out here in the streets and listen to
mm,
conversation, people feel really they're not cozy about going before a judge because the first thing they say, well, I might as well throw away my life right now because they're not going to care. You know what I'm saying? And
absolutely.
it saddens me to know that we're sitting in a time that is not being recognized, that we really need an overhaul, not just a
Hmm.
reform, we need a complete overhaul of our judicial system
Hmm.
because the way it's set up now, it's not working. And then it makes it hard for somebody like you who's coming in with your genuine temperament and attitude about how you want to do things, and you've been in different situations, you work with different diverse people, backgrounds and everything else, but because that stigma is there, because I've already had a couple of bad experiences. You
Hmm.
find I'm saying? So if I go to,
Absolutely.
I don't feel like I'm going to get no win either way it go. I'm not winning here, and it's heartbreaking. It is so
It
heartbreaking.
is, but we are strong people now, right?
Mhm.
And we can't just give up and just pull the cover over our heads and just go to sleep.
Right,
I'm running for judge to inspire. I'm running for judge to continue public service, but I want to be the change I want to see. So it's not going to stop here. You know what I
right.
mean? One of the things I do want to do when I become a judge is to help others come behind me and start
Hmm.
somewhere. And so I have been campaigning, I'm talking to people. It's been quite inspiring to me to hear the stories. I haven't heard
Hmm.
as many hopeless stories. I was with a group of young men, me and several other Black female judicial candidates,
Hmm.
because we're out here. I was with them a few weeks ago talking to some ex offenders, young people, young men in particular, and we had a powerful conversation. It was held really in private
Hmm.
and, dare I say, secret, because we just wanted to have a we really wanted to
Right,
listen. We didn't really want
right.
to be the ones talking, but I heard a lot of powerful stories, but one man in particular really touched me. He said his life was transformed the day he was sentenced. He went
Mm,
before a judge. The judge happened to be a Black woman, and
mhm,
although she couldn't do anything about the 10-year mandatory sentencing,
mhm,
that she had to, give him, he says she spoke life into him. He
mhm,
says she transformed him. She told him, I know that you're a victim, of your circumstances. I know that you're not a criminal. I know that
mhm,
you were doing he was selling, cocaine, to, feed his brothers and sisters. And
right.
so she gave him the sentence, but he said she spoke life into him. So he spent the time in prison, 10 years now, which he's out now, he said, fixing the community that he spent the years before breaking.
Mhm,
So he is now out. He is a dynamic, very loving
mhm,
young man who is
mhm.
helpful and supporting. He is not hopeless. He
Right.
has been supporting us tremendously, but it was because the judge cared.
And that's the key.
Cared.
That's the key. That is the key right there. And because she was genuine in
Yes,
her caring. So even though she still did what she had to do
yeah,
as being a judge, he felt that genuineness from her, which is one thing that we're really missing.
Mm,
You're
absolutely.
missing the genuineness of the heart for
The
somebody.
genuine of
We
the heart.
all make mistakes. I tell people we all make mistakes. The only difference between me and them, I ain't get caught.
That's right. That's right.
That's the
That's
only
right.
difference. But we've all made some mistakes. We've all did some things that we're not proud of. And
Hmm.
so because somebody make a mistake, that doesn't mean we throw them away.
That's right. That's
We
right.
find
Absolutely.
we find what's good within it and we nurture that so they can be better.
And that's exactly what I believe she did in a few moments. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And she changed, he said, she transformed, that experience transformed his life. And so
Hmm.
just even more of that. It don't even have to be from the bench. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It doesn't even have to be that from the bench. It can be, like for me, like right now, I need some help on my campaign, right? Just putting
Hmm.
out signs.
Hmm.
And so I was over at the church. I tour churches every Sunday,
Hmm.
because older Black people vote.
Right.
And I went back, I said, um, on the west side to Mount Ebenezer, I said, I need some help, Pastor Nick, with some signs. And so he said, okay, we got some people to help you. And then, but there was one guy who had just lost his job. I said, I'll
Hmm.
pay him to put my
Hmm.
signs out.
Hmm.
Life changing. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm about that life, right? If I can create it, it's a small thing.
It
But
is.
he said he had just lost his job. He wants to work. He said he'd been looking for different things to do. So he's going to put out the signs. He's going to help me pass out palm cards. I
Hmm.
have been needing that. I have been so worried about how I was going to get the help and the assistance. And who knows, he may be able to meet someone, get connected, because I meet a lot of people in doing
Hmm.
this. So part of it
Hmm.
was for me doing this was to connect the dots. I understand so many more about what's going on in all of the communities because I've been all across Cook County and how
Hmm.
we can connect each other to bring about the change that we want to see.
Right.
So, but I cared, and I say I cared. My mom and dad, I'm from a good family, right? I always say I was well loved. And my mom passed away 3 years ago, but my dad is still here. My mama married well, and
Hmm.
so my dad is like the best father ever. And I say, I was brought up right, and I was well loved. They were extremely hardworking people. I'm hardworking, and I care about people. Right.
Hmm.
I care. I believe I genuinely care about people because they cared about me and cared about us and loved us really well. So,
Hmm.
it's for me, it's about caring about me people too. And like I said, I'm not stopping here, right? I'm not stopping with this race. Even for me personally, I have really gotten into the mix. I had helped Clerk Brown when she ran for mayor about 3 years ago. So that's when I really kind of became a political junkie.
Hmm.
But I'm really learning a lot about, politics, the Democratic Party in Cook County since, with on this journey personally. So it's been interesting, and I just want to continue, in the same vein. And I hear you, about people saying that they just are disheartened. I hear that a lot, especially on the
Hmm.
criminal side. Um,
Right.
People say they are afraid to go to court.
Right.
They don't know what they're going to get. We
Hmm.
still have to keep persevering. We still have to see. We know what we're going to get if we elect the people that need to be in office.
That's what I say. You said my keywords I say all the time. Be the change you want to see.
Absolutely.
I
There
say
are
it all
about
the time.
there are
Yeah.
79 judges running, both countywide and the sub circuits. That's
Hmm.
79 people. We just need to know who's going to go into those offices.
Exactly. But I tell people instead of calling me, do your research, baby. Do your research. And this is why I do what I do because it's important to let people be aware who's running for a certain office. You can put a name with a face. You
Hmm.
can see what their platform is about. You can see what they're because when you talk to people, you can feel their heart.
That's what I said.
You can
Yes.
their intentions, their goodness, and how there's going to be in that office when you talk to people. So that's why I do what I do.
Hmm.
This is not for me. I'm not trying to step up. This is a God mission here. I ain't
Yeah.
got nothing to do with this. And women, I tell women have to fight the hardest. They
Mm-hmm.
have to fight the hardest for the recognition, uh, um, for whatever they're doing, whatever they're striving to be, whether they're running for election, whether they're going to be a vice president or a company or a manager or a supervisor or a CEO. We have
Mm-hmm.
to fight the hardest. It does not matter the skin complexion, it does not matter the texture of your hair.
That's right.
We have to fight the hardest. And we
Yeah.
don't have these many platforms. We see more negative about women
Mm-hmm.
versus the positive, and we need to reverse that because there are a lot of good women out here that's doing good things, and we just
That's
need to
right.
bond together and work together, collaborate and team up, and make a difference. Be the difference. Be the change we want to see.
That's right. And that's what we've been doing. We really worked. I will let you know, me and about 9 other women, Black women in particular, worked really very hard so that we weren't running against each other, at
Mm-hmm.
least in the countywide races. And so we really have been working together, just sharing information,
Right.
telling each other about the different events that are going on, and just talking, encouraging each other. I'll tell Lisa, a friend of mine, Lisa Taylor,
Mm-hmm.
like, I need 60 seconds. And she's like, okay, go. Because she works for a firm. And she's like, I ain't got much time. I got to fill these
Right.
hours. But you tell me what is going on. We'll just get balanced. So we've
Mm-hmm.
worked really hard to, like I said, to work together, because my thing is, some of us are going to be on the bench. Some of us may not make it, but we still going to be out here. We're still going to be working
Mm-hmm.
like we do, and we need to collaborate. We need to work together. We need to, and even like I said, in the congressional race, there are like 17 people running over there.
Mm-hmm.
Several of them women, right, and some of them men who are, you know, um, sensitive to the issues and the challenges that women face. So certainly, lots of women candidates
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of the judicial races. All
Mm-hmm.
of them, Carrie Steele's running for assessor. All of them have been super supportive of me.
That's good.
All of them have been super supportive of me, and I say empower
Mm-hmm.
women.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. I
yeah,
agree. And
yeah,
that's what this is all about. Empower women, empowering women. So
absolutely.
let me ask this question. So are you still gonna do your practice too once you hit
I
the
can't. I can't. Once I get on the bench, I have to let go of the practice. So what I'm gonna do is just turn it over to someone.
okay.
I'm going to just try to, really transition it over, because
Hmm.
once after June 28th, we still have to go through the primary. We still have to go through the general election, but there's
Hmm.
there's no Republican opponent. So once you win the primary, at least in my race and in all the judicial races, actually, you'll be on the bench in
Okay.
December, but you'll be on the ballot for the November election, and then you get sworn in December. So
Okay.
I'm going to use that time. I'm already claiming it, right? I'm going to
Right.
use that
Did
time,
you see what I said? I said
right?
once you get on there. I'm with
Yeah,
you. I'm with you.
we're gonna use that time to just transition over the practice and make sure people are still helped and taken care of. I've partnered in the last year. I partnered with Karen Yarborough's office to do what we call community after death seminars. They're
Mhm.
free. We do them online and in person. There's such a need out there for information. When we
It
talk
is.
to people about what they need to do, some of the things they can set up easily so their property can transition and transfer to their families after they pass. So we try to preserve the
Mhm.
generational wealth. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring some different things together to continue to educate and inform,
Mhm.
and continue to help people. So
Okay.
unfortunately, I can't continue practicing, but I still want to be helpful. We just want to bring some more people behind us and mentor some
Right.
more people in the same area and bring them on up along. So that's what we're
That,
going to do.
okay. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good to know. That's a good thing because when you say that we're not educated on, we're not. A lot of people have
No.
lost a lot of property. Nobody know and aware about probate. I didn't find out about probate till after the fact. So,
Yeah, that's
you
what
know,
typically happens, with the pandemic, it really was another catalyst for this my practice too. People
mhm.
were getting sick because I do the estate plans. So that includes like health, health, the health. What do you call it? power of attorney, healthcare power of attorney, and then the financial power of attorney. So, if someone is in a coma, they haven't necessarily passed away, but they're in a coma, what happens? You need a power of attorney to be able to do anything. It's super important. That's happened in recent times with the pandemic. People have gotten sick. Some people have died. Some people have, come back to health. So we need to understand. So my practice has exploded, and since every time I talk about what I do on the campaign trail, people want my number. I'm like, you gotta wait till after the election. You gotta wait, and then we'll wrap it up and we'll transition. We may have to transition you, but probate work, like I said, the estate planning, all of that, even like the mortgage foreclosure. A lot of people have lost their homes, during the crisis. Yeah, so it's been a lot of challenges, and I've been able to help people. I've been able to help people in these particular crises.
I wish I would have met you some years ago, but
Yeah,
unfortunately, I didn't. So, but I
yeah,
understand. I
yeah.
understand, and it's hard to find people that you feel comfortable with. Because I'm a person, whoever I connect with or do business with or work with, whether it's my doctor, whatever, I need to have that comfortability with that person.
And you should. Yeah,
And
people
if
tell
I'm
me
not
all the time.
person, I can't work with that person, and everybody that you run across, they run you this spiel. It's just something about that conversation that don't resonate with you. And you're like, nah, can't
Oh no!
go with
Anytime if someone's going to be your representative, your agent, in this case, like your attorney, you got to be comfortable with them. And so many people, so unfortunately, so many Black people tell me that the attorney that they were working with for the probate case or the draft of trust, they were mean to them. I find it to be crazy, but they really just didn't take the time to explain things, to educate,
right.
so there's just few people in this area. So we'll have to just work it out. And I hate
Yeah,
that, like you said, we didn't meet sooner. But
right.
we're definitely meeting now and been able
Yeah,
to push this message out to the
exactly.
people. Hmm.
Exactly. So everybody, June 28th. June 28th is election day. Meredith Hammond is running for Democrat for Cook County Judge. Her punch number is 187. Whether you're watching it live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter,
Hmm.
whatever outlet you're watching, and even if you're watching on replay, share this with your family, share
Hmm.
this with your friends so you can know we have put a name and a face together. You have heard the conversation. She has a heart for this job. Y'all make sure y'all punch 187. I'm gonna punch 187.
And remember, it's hammer time.
It's hammer time. It's hammer
That's
time.
what I've been
Oh,
saying throughout the whole, so people can remember, so people can at least, connect it when they go in there. They can just, oh, okay, hammer down here,
hammer
it could
time.
be.
Y'all look for the hammer. Wherever she at, that's what I do. I
I'm
look for
down
the
at the
name.
bottom of the
Right
ballot.
down
I'm
the
down
side.
at the bottom.
I
Or my
run for
other thing, this is kind of like a little bit, it's not as much fun. So 187, you know what that stands for, right?
what?
It's the California Penal Code for murder.
Oh,
That's what they tell me. So I say I'm killing my competition. People tell me I didn't know that. I'm not from California. So I say that. My competition I hate when I say that.
that's a good one though. That
Right.
is a
That's a
good.
good one. It's
That's good.
memorable. It's
It
memorable.
is. It is. So hey, now see, we got two things. 187.
Right.
She killing her competition.
Right.
And
And I
hammer
didn't
time.
come up with that one. I didn't come up with that. I just got on the ballot.
I love
Girl,
it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It has been such a pleasure, Meredith, talking with you. I
me
hope we
too.
stay connected.
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
I like to do different things. I'm working on a women's conference. I am her and she is me at the
Awesome.
church because, we need
I'll
that.
be there.
We need
Definitely.
that.
I'll be there. And I'll tell some of my other friends, collaborators to come as well. These other women judges to
Yeah.
come, and to be a part because so that we can work together,
Yes.
to inspire and to empower.
That and them young girls. We try to get them young
We got
girls
to. We have to.
forward.
We
The
have to.
So we see that it's possible. We have Meredith on here that's running for a Democratic Cook County judge. So
Yes,
whatever your heart desires are, it is
it
possible.
is possible. It is really possible. It's possible. We had the first Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. I stand on her
Mhm.
shoulders. First,
Yes.
Supreme Court, and then Justice Lisa Holder White. She's the
Hmm.
first Black woman for the Illinois Supreme Court. So, we've got to put me on the Supreme Court so I can be the second. Then Lisa can be there, and then these young one person to be the third and the fourth. We got to do this now. So we can. It
Exactly.
took 232 years to have a Black woman sit on the highest court. We're not waiting no longer.
We're not. It's
So we're running. We're taking over the bench. That's what
it's our time. It's our time.
it is our
It's
time.
hammer
It's
time.
our time. Girl, thank you for that.
We killing the competition. I love it. That's gonna stick with me for the rest of the night.
I'm so glad. Thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate you.
You're welcome, and tell your dad Happy Father's Day.
I will. I'm gonna tell my brother too. He just came here too.
I'm gonna
So
tell you Happy Father's Day. Again, I thank you so much. I'm gonna talk with Lisa on Saturday, so
yeah,
we'll
she
be
told me. I talked to her today when I was
yeah,
driving up here. She told me. So yeah, we
yeah.
were supposed to go to her niece's graduation on Friday. She said, "Girl, I'm so crazy." Well, I told her, yeah. Then I said, her grandbaby, which I
Mm-hmm.
call her my niece. That's the
Mm-hmm.
graduation we were going to on Friday. So Lisa
Okay.
and I have become fast friends on the campaign trail. She's got a lot of heart, and I love that about her. She's
That's
courage
good.
and heart. She's just, I don't know what other way to say it. She's
Mm.
been working, qualified, but she's got a lot of heart, and I love that about her.
Yeah, you
So,
do too.
yeah.
Don't put
Well,
yourself.
I appreciate it.
You have a lot of heart. I felt your heart coming through the stream, and you're
Thank
genuine,
you.
and that's what we're praying, that God's gonna open that door. He's gonna allow you to
That's
sit
right.
in that seat. So
Mm. And
allow
put
you to
that robe on. I
there
don't know. I
you
may
go.
have to take a moment. You may have to pull me, be like, "Look, now you know me,
Right. It's, she gonna hold that seat.
right?"
Holding that seat. And then we're gonna make room for somebody else to get in that seat too. The
That's
next seat.
right.
Come along.
Absolutely. The next
And
one. The
we
next
fill
one.
it up the way we need to fill it up. And we see that
That's what
balance
we
that
need
we
to
need to
do.
have. That's what we're gonna
That's what
do.
we're working towards. That's what
Yeah,
we're working towards.
that's right. That's a good
Okay,
thing.
we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna keep talking about it.
We're gonna keep talking about it, and I'm gonna put it on my prayer list too.
That's right. Keep praying about it and keep
Yeah.
doing what we do. Faith
Mm-hmm.
without works is dead.
It's dead.
So
That's right.
I've been working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we
Thank you, girl. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
thank
You
you.
have a
All right.
great evening and be safe,
You
stay
too.
healthy, and stay
You too.
empowered.
All right.
All right. Bye bye.